Today's podcast episode is sponsored by
Michael and Michelle Lassen, First State Bank Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit us on our website at yourlakeloan.com. We want to be your home loan professionals, your lake lenders.
Tuning in for more of Season 6 with our Grow, Thrive, Inspire podcast, a podcast created to help you grow both personally and professionally, to thrive with clear goals and vision, and to inspire. So whether you're a full-time resident here at Lake of the Ozarks or a visitor or hope to be either in the future, we think that you're going to love this episode as much as we do. So today on the show, we're switching things up just a little bit, and I'm turning over my hosting to my broker owner, Jeff Krantz, and he's going to interview me for a new business that we've started here called Mix and Morph Media. So, Jeff, thanks so much for being here today. I'm going to hand it off to you.
And this is my turn to mess with Kaylen. I love it. I love it. So, here's the deal. You started this thing out by saying M&M. Mm-hmm. And I gotta be honest with you. You rolled out this new business and you say it's going to be M&M. And so the first thing I'm wondering is, is this a rapper thing?
It's totally not the candy.
And then I thought about the candy.
Yep.
You know, and so it caused me a lot of issues. I didn't know where you were going with it or what was going on, but just kidding, because it's awesome. And I'm excited to talk to you about it, and I'm excited that you're so passionate about it, and we're going to get to the bottom of this Mix and Morph thing.
I'm really excited to jump into it too. I mean, since we've launched, I've heard a lot of people go, but wait, what is Mix and Morph? So here we go. We're going to dive deep.
Yeah, you can't tell. I mean, I understand it now, but to the consumers, to the world out there, how would you know?
Yep.
So explain. Give us a little history and explain what Mix and Morph really means.
Okay, so Mix and Morph came from just kind of a couple different things for me personally. So I've been with RE/MAX now for almost 5 years. And my role with RE/MAX, Lake of the Ozarks, is technically the Director of Opportunity and Development. Well, when I tell people that, they're like, but what is that role? Right. So I'm over here going, okay, well, let me break it down a little bit. And the best way that I can describe it is I'm kind of a jack of all trades for our brokerage. So I am responsible for training, recruiting, meeting with agents one-on-one, helping them build a business from the ground up. So because of that, in the years that I've done it now, I was noticing just, where agents were spending their time versus where they needed to spend their time. And marketing is a big chunk of that time suck. So not only was I doing that with my current role, but then my partner, Thomas, became an agent. And when that happens on a personal level, I wanted to help him as much as I could too. So when he entered into his agent role, I wanted to do kind of some of his back end. So I got into kind of some of his social media marketing and different things, and then realized that, holy crap, I love doing this. I have a passion for this. I love creating things from scratch. Had no idea. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have told you I'm not a creative person when it comes to designs.
Oh, that's baloney. It's baloney.
Yeah.
Wait, stop.
But
stop
now,
the presses. No. First of all, I'll attest to you want to help everybody. And I will also, I'm a huge advocate of the work you do. You will do everything. You will jump into any role. I know it. Mm-hmm. I know that about you. But specifically, you've been heavily involved in helping our current agents bring value to whatever they do. And, you've been involved in promoting the brand and the company and making sure that the world out there knows what our culture is, because sometimes that's hard. You got this thing inside of a company, but nobody else knows about it.
Right.
So you have been a great advocate from that standpoint. But there was never any hiding your passion for the marketing and the pizzazz. So.
Well, and that's what I love too. I mean, I have my business degree as well, so I always had like kind of a I guess a passion for a business, just in general, the back end of a business, how business works, how you build one. And that's why I got my education in that way. But then to take it on a whole other different creative aspect was something that I didn't expect, but I'm totally loving.
Well, it's really cool. I know we're going to get into specifics as we go, but we were super supportive of the idea because to us it kind of brought together a bunch of different things that we had some of this stuff in place, but the way that you put it together, it was a win-win. And so, we were excited from day one. So to dive into the specifics a little bit, tell us, what does Mix and Morph actually bring to the table for the customers? Who are the customers, and what do you bring to the table?
Okay, so that's a really good question, and it's kind of a long, broad answer, but I'll do my best to explain it. So our consumers or our client niche was not just from a real estate business perspective or a real estate agent's perspective. It's actually a model created for any business. So, again, going back to the business and the way that our current market is, marketing is such a time-consuming thing, and I find that not a lot of people know all of the aspects of how to do marketing right. So when I created Mix and Morph, my ideas for Mix and Morph was to make it kind of all-encompassing. So some of the services that we offer, so we do a lot of digital printed materials, meaning that we create flyers, signage, we do postcard designs, business card designs, even textable business card designs, all kinds of just digital flyer aspects or designs like that. On top of that, we also do video and photography services. We have drones and 2 videographers, full-time videographers on staff. And then that takes us to kind of social media. So social media, we offer 3 social media packages where we take social media completely off of our client's plate, and we oversee that, meaning we post for them, provide analytics, do the whole thing as far as their social media marketing goes. And then on top of that, we help with maybe videos, TikToks, Reels. We want to provide a safe space where if you have an idea, you can come in and we can make that happening from a marketing standpoint. And then what I'm really excited about is we also have the swag aspect. So if anybody's looking for koozies, shirts, any kind of things that have your brand on it, we can also create that as well. So
I saw some of your closing gifts and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What I like about it and what is hard to convey in this type of setting is the uniqueness. So I've heard of a lot of agents, because, that's our business. So I've heard of a lot of agents expressing concern in years past with the uniqueness when they hire, like for instance, social media, when they hire that out. How would you answer that one?
So that's a good question. What I typically say when people ask me about our uniqueness and kind of how we're different from other competitors is we take the time to really listen to our clients, have a one-on-one sit-down meeting with them, and in that meeting, we uncover what makes them truly them, and also kind of marketing and branding ideas that they want to bring to the table. So, for example, if you have a luxury agent, for example, they want to focus more on a luxury side. So their graphics are going to be tailored more to that specific niche market. We also do different just custom designs, because a lot of times business owners in general, or I'll even throw in real estate agents, they will go to competitors, even locally or online. I mean, there's so many of them out there. Right. But when they pay for that service, they're paying for the same thing that everybody else is getting. So you'll have, several people out here posting the same content.
That's the concern I've heard.
So that's where we want to take that mix of artistic expression, but also convey it in like kind of a morphed way, which is where the name comes from. Because when you are a client of ours, you're getting that unique and tailored content that's fit for you and your brand.
See, you never told me that. Now I understand
Yeah,
that part.
yeah, it makes sense.
Very cool. That's very cool. Well, you talked about 2 full-time videographers.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you've got, so you can't do it all. I think you can do it all sometimes, but it's not just you. So expand on that team, who does what, and then video specifically is one that we just came off of the R4, the Remax conference, and this is only like the 10th year they've been hammering video, but they have lots of statistics behind it. Why our industry needs to get involved, and our industry is one little industry. Everybody has a business needs to get on board with video, don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
So what does that part of what you're doing mean to us? So the team, and then more about video.
So I am very fortunate to not only be able to start Mix and Morph this year, but also to have such an amazing team behind it right out the gate. I mean, I honestly, it's probably one of my favorite parts of M&M is the team so far. But so we have Kelly Stashak, who is my overall vibe master is her exact title, but that's essentially a director of operations. She's kind of my right hand. She helps me do a lot of the digital aspects, designing, website design. She has a really great background with website design and just design in general, also swag. So I'm very fortunate to have her. And then, like I said, we have 2 photographers. We have Ben Hale and Kaylee Rhaegar, and they are outstanding. I mean, having the ability to bring 2 videographers and photographers to the table is definitely something that I didn't see coming, but I'm so happy to have them both because they just provide such outstanding editing, and I love how it gives different perspectives. They each give me different shots of the same shot, and it's really cool to see them thrive and get the footage and provide footage that really nobody else is getting out there. So I love my team.
Kaylee and I go back a little way.
Yeah.
I can speak for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
That's cool.
It is cool. And we're taking it as it comes, and we're learning. And that's the other aspect that we all really thrive on is, again, marketing is never going to stay the same.
No.
You always have to be changing things up and focusing on trends and where things are headed. And that is definitely the team that has come from Mix and Morph. Everybody behind this model, this business is always thinking how can we change things up? How can we get creative here? And that's what makes Mix and Morph.
Well, in our business, sometimes realtors are expected to wear all the hats.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is marketing. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't come natural. And like you said, just about the time you got one thing figured out, it's moving in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't stay on that curve, it'll leave you pretty quick.
Yep.
So I really think what you're doing, as far as for our company, it's bringing tremendous value. I've seen it already. And, not that we haven't pushed to change before, but we've really, it's been hard to put something in place that offers multiple things. And so that part of it's really cool. So speaking just about realtors, and you can expand into other customers for a minute, but back to that video thing a little bit. Because I think that this might be part of your answer, but I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
What brings, what specific ways do you think that your company will increase your customers' bottom line? So if an agent hired you, how's it going to change their numbers?
Well, I love this question. And when you sent it to me ahead of time, I was kind of, I had to think about it. But really, I want to start with how our world is, for example, right now. Things are changing all the time. And the way that marketing and just advertising and branding as a whole is being done has shifted a lot since COVID and things like that have happened. So because of that shift, sometimes I find a lot with training agents specifically that their version of marketing is like so many other business owners out here, and they think, okay, well, I'm posting a post on Facebook, that's marketing. Marketing is so much different than just posting on a social media platform. There's layering, there's SEO, there's, making sure the internet as a whole is working on the back end for you too. So what I like to say is, because posting is not marketing, what marketing is are 3 different things. So anytime you're doing marketing around any business model, it needs to encompass these 3 things, which are lead gen, lead nurturing, and then lead conversion. And those three things need to be featured in almost every single marketing piece that you're doing, whether that's swag, digital products, social media management, a Google page, a website, doesn't matter. All of it needs to encompass those three things at all times. So because of that, we go to convention or I hear from other business industry leaders that they're feeling that shift. Our newer upcoming generations are creating that shift. At convention, we heard that statistic where TikTok is basically, going to eventually replace a Google search. It's a new search engine that nobody saw coming. So for me, increasing a customer's bottom line would have to go into making sure that their marketing plan and their initiative for the attack to increase their brand awareness needs to encompass those three things. It needs to layer all across the back end of the internet. And when those things happen and you're keeping your brand top of mind on every level, whether that be in person or online, I mean, how could that not increase a bottom line? Because you're top of mind, you're out there, and that is the whole goal of a marketing campaign.
And the system you guys put in place, and I know this just from what I've seen already, it implements some consistency.
Yes.
And from an individual agent or even a team member standpoint, that's kind of hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to wear all the hats, I mean, I've had a couple examples already, and trust me, in the quiet, I've fought social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell our agents that very much, but sometimes social media is like not my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I had an agent this morning bring me and show me a conversation on Snapchat he was having with a client.
Yep.
And I'm like, I didn't think anything business would ever come from Snapchat, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
I would have not thought that. But, part of my struggle, and you didn't practice this part, but I'm going to say it. Part of my struggle is getting an agent. And this, I would say this applies for any business that's even listening to us anywhere, is getting them to understand that when you have a property to showcase,
mm-hmm.
you have an opportunity, not just to showcase the property, but to showcase yourself.
Yep.
If you bring your spirit to that video and you showcase that property and you show the world your professionalism, that might mean that 2 or 3 other people that are thinking about selling give you an opportunity at part of that interview.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, the problem is you can be a great agent,
mm-hmm.
but if you're not marketed correctly,
Correct.
if you don't have the right branding, if you don't have that consistency, you might never get a chance.
Yeah.
And today, and you know this, the value that you're bringing with this company and your team is bringing to our agents
mm-hmm.
is that you're stepping in and doing that for them.
Exactly.
And we are moving from, we're coming off of a 9-year market run.
Mm-hmm.
9 years. But the last 3 years of the 9 years have caused us to not have to do things
mm-hmm.
away. So we are moving into a pros market, and those who get on board, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity there.
There is. And, I go back to, I'm a numbers person as well. And so I look at facts that come out, and I follow a lot of like what's trending, what's happening online a lot. And so, some things that come to my mind are, 79% of search results begin and purchases are made off of the content that are posted. On average, people, does not matter the age demographic either, just people in general are spending over half their day online. Just looking at things, going through social medias, going through websites, searching what they're looking for. And if you're not there on a consistent level, you're missing all of that.
So one of our younger agents this morning,
Mm-hmm.
she's aggressive and she's good. She held her hand up in the meeting and she said, I have to admit something. I said, what? She said, I've had 2 calls in the last month where I called people that were in my potential buyer pool,
mm-hmm.
and they said, I'm sorry, but we bought something else.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I realize that I have to communicate more. Well, what you're bringing to the table allows for people to be top of mind. And I'm not trying to make this your commercial. I think that whether an agent uses you, whether a company uses you or not,
mm-hmm.
whether they use M&M or they do something different, they need to get a hold of something that can create a consistent, so that they get the most for their money. We're all spending money.
That's probably where my biggest mission comes from Mix and Morph, is again going back to, you know, myself spending hours and hours and hours training so many agents that were coming on, you know, with Remax, and spending quality time, and then realizing that they're spending, you know, 7 to 8 hours a day just trying to get Facebook to work with them, or figure out how to boost a post, or things like that. And then also having, you know, grown up here my whole life, I have a lot of, you know, people in just different industries that are business owners, and hearing the same objection over here that agents were giving me over here, and realizing that most people just don't know how to effectively market. And that's okay. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, right? When it comes to businesses. And so my biggest thing that I wanted to bring to life with Mix and Morph was not only the ability to do it right for you and to help you on all aspects of getting your brand out there, but to also save you time. Because like I said, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. So if I can be on your back end, or we can be on your back end helping that marketing initiative, you can just go out there and focus on what you're good at, which is sales and, you know, talking with people and being top of mind.
That's right. Yeah. Doing what you're good at. Well, those out there listening, they don't know you. That's like true. I know you. I know your drive. I know I cannot even read through some of your emails.
Yep.
Because this is a systems gal. When she said she knows the numbers, let me tell you, she does. She knows the numbers. So I know that stuff about you, which is really cool. But what I didn't know about you is your creativeness, and that's where I really think you're shining. I can see the twinkle in your eye right now, and it's just true. So where do you see the future? Just for fun, if I could ask you, where do you see M&M in 3 years? Or where do you see it in 5 years? What does it look like?
Well, for me personally, like, I guess on a...
Kind of scared to hear
it. Yeah, kind of on a goal-related thing. I guess in 3 years, I would really love to be more, or I would love to see Mix and Morph more as a staple to... not just Remax Lake of the Ozarks, any outside agent at another brokerage, any business at Lake of the Ozarks. So I would like to see M&M really start taking on the lake market. And then by the end of 5 years, I'd love it to go outside of the lake. Because again, it's for any business model. I mean, we have clients that are in banking. We have clients that are short-term rentals. I mean, short-term rental actually gets me really excited because there's a whole other like swag side of that too that you could bring into a rental.
Well, tell them who brought you into that.
Yeah, my mom brought me into that. In fact, my mother is probably half the reason why I'm sitting here with Mix and Morph, because she also is a huge business person, and definitely got a lot of bouncing of hours of ideas off of that woman.
I knew there was a big goal, and we've already seen, you know, it's been like 2 months, and it's just taken off like crazy. And we've already seen our agents jump in there because they know you, they know Kaylen, they've already loved the rest of your team. So what I hope comes from this, where I hope this goes, is I hope that other companies, other agents of other companies reach out, because they're missing it if they don't. And they'll find out really quickly that you really do have a very unique product. It's not like any that I've seen before. I mean, we've seen, you know, marketing companies, media companies, social media. Our team has hired outside companies lots of times, but not what this is.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's really cool, and I want to encourage everybody to explore it a little bit more. If you have any thoughts or interests after listening to this, do not hesitate to reach out.
And also ideas too. Like I hear oftentimes so many business owners or agents say, you know, oh, I want to create this video. I want to go highlight myself or a business, or I just don't know how to do it. Come in. I mean, we got all kinds of capabilities. Hell, we just even got a green screen the other day,
awesome.
You know, so we're able to do a lot of different functionality and bring ideas to life. So I don't ever want people out here to spend a whole bunch of time trying to make something happen if they're uncomfortable. I want them to reach out and get help.
There's a lot. The other thing that we haven't talked about and wouldn't be known is that we talk a lot about the is the 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 best way to get the most bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
What quote unquote marketing or advertising or whatnot do you not want to spend on? If you're an agent.
Okay.
We talk a lot about that. We track where all of our business comes from. We share it throughout the company. I just wanted to say that because there's probably going to be a lot of agents listening, and this is not, you are not the person that doesn't understand that. You are seeing the trends behind the scenes from a real estate company standpoint, so you know where you're going to get the best turn from your dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And again, you didn't prefer
No, but it's true.
Yeah, it is true.
I just thought about it.
No, I love it, and I love that you're hitting me with questions you didn't prepare me for, Jeff. This is fun.
That's part of my job.
I know.
I've never seen you nervous.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What I love about that question though is so let's break this down. Where should you spend time with marketing efforts versus where you should not? And my easiest answer for that is where is your audience? Okay. Where is your audience 99% of the time? And that's where that focus needs to be. It doesn't need to be out here on a billboard that people pass by 30,000 times and never look at. It doesn't need to be out here, in maybe a flyer hanging on a corn board place in a local, chamber. That's not being visible. Being visible is intention. It's going out there and really taking time to think about where your audience is, and then just hammering that audience as much as possible to stay top of mind.
And the ability to track the results.
And yeah,
it's a big part. That's a difference between branding and marketing.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not talked about a lot. Branding, there is value to branding.
Mm-hmm.
There is value on a big sign or billboard or what have you, or a ad somewhere. But if you cannot directly track it, you don't know the return.
Absolutely.
So it's really hard to determine the return. So what I do love is the back end too, how you can track it.
Well, and mentioning the back end too of Mix and Morph, if our clients were to get on a social media package with us, for example, a part of that package is we constantly provide them analytics. What's working, what's not working. Here's how your page has grown or your page is, for example. Cross-laying over to Google too. Here's how your Google page is doing. I mean, our customers are constantly in the know of what is happening on their marketing efforts and where we can actually, turn things or pivot, whatever. And that's what I love about that as well. One other thing I want to get back to is branding specifically. So, we hear all the time, especially with market conditions, that there's a lot of fear out there. And so I hear a lot of agents or business owners that are like, oh, I want to pull back right now. I'm nervous about financial reasons or whatever that case may be. But I actually flip that. I challenge it because in my opinion there is no better time than now to invest in that brand. If you can invest in your brand now, it's only going to accelerate growth in the future, in my opinion.
Listen to what she's saying. That's a big deal. Not everybody's going to do it.
No.
But the pros are going to recognize the opportunity that we have in the next, 12, 18, 24 months. We have some serious opportunity because lots of folks are going to let fear take a hold.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But the bottom line is people are going to buy and sell.
Yeah.
People are going to buy and sell whatever your business has to sell. If you put yourself out there and you demonstrate your brand. There's also another thing, in times of fear, people go they either go the high-end boutique route or they go the lower value route.
Yep.
And if you're a pro and you invest in yourself and you promote you promote yourself consistently and you can demonstrate your value, it's going to be easier to go that higher end boutique route. We want to provide more services than anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's what we strive for. So you're going to help with that.
Well, and then what do consumers come back to? Do they come back to the cheap and easy route or the easy button, or do they come back because of an experience that they had?
And that's what it's about. It's about the customer experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. I appreciate you letting me hammer you and talk about things that I didn't send you.
I love being put on the spot.
Well, you're good, and your team is really good, and that's why we're really excited what you put together, and I believe that you're going to put a lot more money in people's pockets and help them build their businesses to where they don't just survive, they thrive. So.
Absolutely. One more thing I wanted to mention too, our storefront's almost coming. We're actually gonna have a storefront.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have a storefront in our Camdenton Remax Lake of the Ozarks location downstairs. And in our storefront, we're also going to have a DTF printer. Now, people are like, what's a DTF printer, Kaylen? Well, it's a direct-to-film printer, which there's several different options. You know, you have vinyl, which you can press on shirts. You have sublimation, which only goes on certain types of material. You have a DTG, which is direct-to-garment, which will print directly on shirts. And then you have DTF, which is like the new wave of printing and applying things for branding. So what's cool about that is not only will we have the capability to print things on almost any material, but we'll also have the capability to sell prints for people. So if anybody had like a specific design but wanted to go press their shirts themselves, they could actually come to us for that service as well.
I wish people could see how cool and unique your swag stuff is. I think it's going to be a big deal too.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, Grow, Thrive, Inspire listeners, a huge thank you to Jeff for flipping the script with us today. If you're interested in learning more about Mix and Morph Media and what we can do for your business, please visit our website at mixandmorphmedia.com, or you can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all at Mix and Morph Media. We have more episodes coming, so be sure to tune back in on Wednesdays and like and subscribe to our pages for the latest updates. We're still on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just all out there, so you can definitely check us out. And also a huge thank you to our sponsors, Michael and Michelle Lassen with First State Bank Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, and they are at yourlakeloan.com. So, and remember to always grow, thrive, and inspire, and we'll catch you next time.